People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on. You lot called for me to run it back, people. Deluded, I'm back again. We've got ZAH in the building. Obviously, we've got a lot to discuss, which I've exhausted my stuff. I just want to hear your thoughts. How you doing, broski? You good?
Brother, I wish it was different circumstances. First things first, I'm back home. I'm at home, so apologies if you guys hear the train go by.
Nah, minor, man. None of that matters, man. You're good.
But, bro, we were so close, man.
But yet, so far.
We were so freaking close, my bro. I don't even know where to begin, man. I don't even know where to begin, man.
All right, so let me help you. All right, cool. Let's address the elephant in the room. Before we talk about purely from a footballing perspective, what do you make of, simply put, Manchester City players being rattled, the whole of the footballing world being rattled? Because it seems like when Arsenal Football Club were crying about these injustices or dark arts being done to us, we're told to get on with it. Now that we're actually doing it, there's an issue. It's just, are they upset, or is it because it's us, or it's because we're doing better than people?
Bro, the whole confuffle, the whole talk and all that after the game, from this game, has been crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything as crazy as this, man. It's every single Man City person is giving a statement. The double standards just flying around everywhere. The media, the so-called YouTube tacticals, the know-it-alls and all that. Absolute insanity. I mean, first things first, the whole notion that Arteta should play in a manner in which the YouTube tacticals want him to play is just absolute nonsense. Oh, Arsenal should have been free-flowing, should have been next. Brother, Arteta doesn't know you anything. Arteta's goal is to get 3 points for Arsenal Football Club. And guess what? Football can be played in multiple different ways.
And it's worked the last couple of times against City.
Yeah, there's different ways to win a football game. So the whole notion of the fact that, oh, Arsenal should have entertained the masses that had tuned in to watch, brother, talk to Michael Oliver about that. That ain't Arsenal. That ain't Arsenal's problem. I mean, when it was 11-on-11, when it was an 11-on-11, people. That's the thing, is that people, when they want to come push narratives and all that, they seem to just block out facts and things that actually happened to support their narrative. When it was 11-on-11, that first half, right? Yeah, City's at home. Guess what? Man City is a possession-based team. City, when you go play Man City is going to have a lot of the ball. Deluded. There's only one football to go around, and unfortunately, if Man City has 70% of it, guess what? The other team only will get 30% of it. That's just how life works. City holds on to the ball. People seem to forget the fact that there was a phase leading up to our goal, the Gabriel goal, for about 10 or 15 minutes. I would say, yeah, a 10 or 15 minute stretch where I would say Arsenal was literally possession-wise and all that. We
started to get into their half and play our game.
We literally had all the momentum. We had all the momentum for like the last bit of that first half until the referee did what he did and the Trossard thing happened and sent off. Whether he was right or wrong, that's up for debate. There's blame on both sides. Trossard is an idiot after it happened to Rice. You be smarter about that. And also Michael Oliver is also an idiot because it's just the dumbest thing on the freaking planet. The guy had less than a second to react. It's crazy. It's not.
Do you think he actually kicked the ball away as a side note? Or do you think he kicked the ball away?
He was passing to Martinelli. Martinelli was running. That was Martinelli's running line right there. He was putting the ball over the top and all that. But that's whether he kicked it away or not. there just wasn't enough time for me to rationally determine that, all right, this was intentional. That was a bang situation.
Should
That
Trossard have
happened.
been smarter though on the yellow card? Bearing in mind we saw it like what 2 weeks ago or so with Declan Rice. Should he have been smarter in that regard?
Yeah, no, there's blame. There's absolutely 1,000%. There's blame on both sides, but then again, in the moment, it's easier said. You know, it's easier said. Now I'm sitting here, and you know, it's there's no elements of the actual game. There's no crowd. There's no the nerves from.
It's all happening very quickly as well. To be fair,
adrenaline, everything's happening fast. So it's very easy for me to sit here and say that Trossard should have done this, Trossard should have done that. But then, yeah, the whole talk is crazy. Kyle Walker complaining out of possession, brother. Shut up. He just didn't scan. That's all. He was literally in the back line was formed. The Man City back line was there. He was marking Trossard. He just didn't scan. If he had scanned and seen that Martinelli was wider, he would have gotten it. Now he's blaming the referee for not letting him go back. He went back. He was back in possession. And then the Haaland thing. Brother, if a certain Bukayo Saka behaved in the manner in which...
Don't forget Pep Guardiola kicking the chair, which I'm not a critique of. I just know what would have been said if Arteta did these things.
Certain Bukayo Saka behaved in the manner in which Erling Haaland behaved. If a certain Mikel Arteta behaved in a certain manner in which Pep Guardiola he behaved, there would be different. There would be so many different headlines. There would be multiple talks. There would be. It's absolutely incredible.
They'd want him in jail.
Yeah, it's crazy. The double standards. I mean, I get it. I know it. People got to run their agendas and all that, but the double standards to against Arsenal are absolutely insane. And the talk is crazy. Seeing people, the reach, people, the way they're reaching just to say that they were right or whatever is crazy. And we were literally 10 seconds away from shutting up the entire internet. And guess what? When we were happy last year that we did well and got a draw at the Etihad, guess what? We got slaughtered. We got slaughtered for celebrating a draw. But man,
I remember when Granit Xhaka got sent off and we still tried to go toe to toe with City and it didn't work out for us. Yeah. Only Arsenal can't change their approach though.
Yeah, Arsenal has to play in the manner in which Pep Guardiola approved them to play, so that they can be open and Guardiola can pick them off and score 6 goals against them because they're one man down. Absolute nonsense to do it. And it's crazy how many people that are platformed, big platforms, big voices, the stuff that they're saying is just absolute asinine. And then there's another thing that I just needed to touch on. Sorry, if you see me look to the side,
this is therapy session settings, man.
I've been stewing, bro. I've been sitting on this stuff. Another thing I gotta touch on. There's an idiot that writes for The Athletic. I forgot what his name is. There's an idiot that writes for The Athletic that claimed that Thomas Partey injured Rodri. Brother, watch the freaking game.
I know you're talking about the same brother who said it was a clearance which led to Martinelli setting up Calafiori. You didn't watch the game. You didn't watch the game.
Absolute idiot. And I'm getting sick and tired of the club just letting stupid shit like this happen, bro. The club needs to get serious and start banning some of these guys. That guy should not be allowed ever again to set foot in the Premier League. At the Emirates, sorry, not in the Premier League, at the Emirates again, man. Because like if you're a journalist, if we're gonna let you into our place, give you access out of good faith for you to actually objectively report on what happened. If you're objective, I'm fine. But if you're just going to start making stuff up and start making crazy ass accusations like Thomas Partey intentionally injured Rodri, that's absolute crazy. That he should not be allowed to enter the Emirates.
It's dangerous considering they control the narrative, and this is what I mean about the media. Like I think Arsenal fans, we need to. I don't think that we can do anything about it. But if you say enough things in the media and it goes for life, let alone football, it becomes facts. You would think Arsenal the only team that wastes his time. I'm actually doing a video on this. Arsenal are top for delayed kickoffs and some sort of metrics, but nobody knows Leicester's there. Nobody knows that
Yeah.
Brentford's there. Nobody knows that Chelsea are not far off. And even, you know, you look at Leicester and Chelsea, they were both managed by Maresca. As Chelsea get better, they're going to be up there. Now, if we're top of that, we are top of that. But it's the narrative. People genuinely only believe Arsenal. And let's be honest, it is a witch hunt. I think as much as there was, you know, 4 goals, there was drama, it's Pep against Mikel Arteta. There's plenty of purely footballing reasons. They've just taken it beyond that, if I'm completely honest with you, which jars me. Like, Pep Guardiola couldn't beat 10 men Arsenal. He could not break that down until Stone saved the day. In the second half, I think every Arsenal fan thought first 5-10 minutes we are going to concede. Why weren't the floodgates open? Why haven't Pep Guardiola or Manchester City found a way to play against Arsenal isolated to that game? Because if the shoe's on the other foot, they would say Mikel Arteta has to find solutions. You needed a centre half to score in the 90th minute. For me personally, I would have loved to have won. I do think it's a point gained considering the context, but also 2 points dropped. Of course, it's gotten to concede at the very last end, but I'm proud of my boys personally. We've had these treble winners. City have won and done everything. We had them scrambling. We had no answers. And Mikel Arteta versus Pep, for me, it's an open book. You knew we were going to, even with 11, we was going to respect them, try and be compact, which I think we could have done better. Pep Guardiola knows what we're going to do. Why couldn't he find a solution around that? That's not me criticizing Pep. I'm just criticizing the narratives around the game. And you're right. I don't think people pick up on this because, again, media or whoever they are, they're human beings, bro. They're subject to bias. If a man doesn't like Arsenal, he's never going to paint us in the right way. But it's like George Graham said, bro, we have to be prepared to be hated, man.
It's crazy. It's honestly, it's crazy. And I don't know. The other one that set me off, that the Spurs girl, the clip that I saw, Arsenal should play in the way that she likes, so that
if you want to be entertained, go to the cinema or a circus, man. The hell,
that's what we witnessed in that second half was an absolute defensive masterclass. We should have. Any other team loses that game. 5. What we'd scored at the time, so I guess it's 5-2, 6-2. Any other team loses that game 6-2. Why can't people appreciate the fact that Arsenal were so locked in? They were able to keep their concentration for 45 minutes. We didn't make a mistake for 45 minutes, bro. We made
over 45 minutes when you're considering the added on 7 as well, to be fair to the lads.
Yeah, 45 minutes. We ended up making a mistake in the last 10 seconds of the game. We literally clear that corner. We clear that confuffle out. That ball gets out. We clear that out. And it's a completely different story. That's what pains me. That's what pains me. Did you see too the goal? There was a bit shady. Apparently, Raya's line of sight was blocked when I think Guardiola's the one. He's the one that hit the shot that Raya saved, and then Stones got the rebound. Apparently, his line of sight was blocked. People were possibly saying offside or something. I saw a little something on that, but.
I never saw that. Do you know what? I'd have to look at it again, but I don't think there was anything wrong with their goal, man. It was just, and even that, we've had this great City side celebrating a draw, which again, football fans, obviously there's agendas, there's jokes and things like that, but this is football. Of course, if you're Manchester City, you've come back from the jaws of defeat at the time, you finally found a way to break them down, you're allowed to celebrate. I just don't like the inconsistencies, if I'm honest with you. I know if my players, even the surrounding the ref thing, I'm not really clued up on those sort of rules, but I'm pretty sure the Premier League said in the beginning of the season, you can't surround referees and whatnot.
When they scored the goal.
Plenty of times. They're children. Manchester City's players are perpetual entitled children. I call them the Real Housewives of Cheshire. It would be Atlanta for you lot in the States, man. They're just spitting their dummies out. It's entitlement, really and truly. They just wanted us to play an open game so they could annihilate us. And we could say we've given them a good game, and they rub us on the head and say, yeah, that's a good lad. It doesn't make sense, man.
And the naivety too on the Premier League. They just even before a ball was kicked, bro. The fact that they can put themselves in such a position is insane.
Why is Michael Oliver refereeing?
Exactly. Michael Oliver.
Why is he refereeing? Never sent off a City player. Sent off Arsenal players the most. Saw the incompetence last year.
Paid 200, literally paid 200,000. When was he in Saudi Arabia?
Exactly. For getting flown out to Saudi like some girl replying to her Insta DMs from a rapper. Crazy.
And this is the guy you put on your biggest fixture. It's absolutely crazy, man. I don't know. I don't know what we can do, Deluded. I don't know if we can file a complaint or anything. And also, yeah,
No, it's us against the world, Zah, man. Again, I do think there needs to be something to do with referees, not just for Arsenal Football Club, but the consistencies. Because I'm not a Wolves fan, but I think if there's one club that could say there's been more injustices against them than Arsenal, it would be Wolves. And I'm at this point now. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. We're supposed to be hated. Invincibles for Alex Ferguson, Conte, Jose, they were all hated for what they did. We're just gonna have to get on with it, because there's been several times, especially when Ramsdale was our goalie before Raya was a thing. How many times would they block off Ramsdale and hold Ramsdale? I've seen Burnley do it. I've seen Brentford do it. We were told we weren't tough enough. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, straight after that Brentford game, they said we lacked desire. How many times do you see these former players come out and call Arsenal soft? They're babies. You can bully them. Now we don't want to get bullied. There's a serious issue, and I actually think there's a lot more we could do in that regards. It's just a lack of consistency in the media. I would say to the fans, turn it off, because again, I genuinely think Arsenal Football Club, a lot of the like you do when you criticize the journalists, all of these people that want engagement, we keep the light bills on. Arsenal fans, we are the most talked about on social media, or our club is. When it comes to the social media landscape, whether it was because of AFTV or other fans, we've got the most prominent no disrespect to AFTV, of course, but we've got the more prominent fans. You know that we're the ones that are up in arms. We're keeping their light bills on. To this day, 72 hours on, they're still waffling about Arsenal City and the injustices and things. So I think collectively, us Arsenal YouTubers, content creators, fans, we need to learn to shut off from this rage bait engagement clicks, if I'm honest.
It's like I'm seeing City people that I've never seen before in my life all of a sudden just pop up on my thing, and I'm like, there's this one dude that's been just commenting on every. I was like, who the hell is this guy? But it's absolutely crazy. So that was more on the game, Deluded. I've been trying to research, trying to figure out what the hell they've been talking about. What do they even mean? Maybe you can clarify it for me for a little bit.
Go on.
What the hell is this dark arts thing that because they didn't get the desired result, they wanted in the Arsenal mandate, so that Arsenal losing, by the way, they didn't get that desired result they wanted. Now we're talking about dark arts. Like, because we're good at corners, because we put a guy in front of the goalkeeper like every other club does, and the keeper
isn't able. It's because we're not naive no more. We're not perfect. It's because we're not naive. When we was gun-ho from start to finish, trying to do this possession thing, like you mentioned, Abby, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan. I love possession. I actually think we could do a lot more in terms of dominating possession and playing silky football. Possession is everything in football, but it's what you do with it. And if you don't do anything with it, the most important statistic, which is scoring goals and getting 3 points, doesn't happen. We're street smart. Naturally, City get praised for it, taking the sting out of games, quieting the opposition fans when you go away from home, delaying the time. Obviously, Mikel Arteta started to even get young Luis Skelly and Jorginho involved because he can't use this technical area. It's adapt or survive, bro. Like, we've been doing the crying thing. Now we have to protect ourselves. And again, we're going to be harshly. Everything under Arsenal Football Club is more under the microscope. As I said at the beginning, we are top for delaying time and things of that ilk, people. But you would not know that other teams are there. In fact, as I said, I was doing a video on it. I'm pretty sure I could. If you give me a second, I'll actually find what I'm referring to. If I share my screen, where is it? This is exactly what I'm referring to, man. Let me zoom in a bit for the fans. Them average Premier League delays. Yeah, obviously we're top. Leicester are second, Brentford are third, Wolves are fourth, Villa are fifth. You would think we're the only football club. It's not high, and I'm not saying
it's close. It's literally close between us and Leicester at the top.
Nobody mentions it. And again, I've got no problem. If we're doing that, then it should be spoken about. But at the same time, you would think we're the only football club. Nobody knows, unless you're a Leicester fan or involved in their coaching staff, that Leicester, Brentford, Wolves, Villa, and Everton do that. And I expect Chelsea, who are behind Everton, to climb up there because Maresca is from the same kind of school of thought as Mikel Arteta. Do you want to be like Spurs, where again, they're near the bottom of something, where they're not street smart, they're not clinical, they can't defend well, they have a bunch of possession? We've been here as Arsenal fans, a lot of possession, chances. The other team has one opportunity. What we did to City when that red card happened, or better yet, how we started that game, that was something during the early Emirates era that used to happen to us. Teams know, be solid defensively, we'll huff and puff. You get one chance, you take it, we're gone. So for me, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It's for me, it's the lack of consistency. It's the lack of being fair. But again, these lot paint the narratives. If you say a lie enough times, it becomes facts. People are seeing it on the TV. They're hearing it on the radio. They're seeing it on Twitter. If you keep peddling that stuff out, this is where we're going to get, man. And big up Brian. He said, City fan here, absolutely cannot fault Arteta for setting up like that in the second half, but we're not rattled. Truly don't understand the Arsenal hate for the Sunday game. Fair play, in my opinion. Brian, I think your players are rattled. I genuinely think your players are rattled because your players are doing a lot of talking, bro. They're doing a lot of it unnecessarily. I think it obviously helps because Arsenal will think, you know what, these lot don't like us. You lot, Pep could potentially leave in. You've got 115 charges. Obviously, you lot for the number of times you lot have been at the top, people question your motivation. I think for both teams, this installs the fire in their bellies. I think both teams are rattled. There's no way on God's green earth after that game, Arsenal and City, both sets of teams aren't rattled. For me, even with the manager, Mikel Arteta, I know he keeps it composed, but he was even saying, I've got the information. I know where social media is concerned, this rattling thing is seen as a bad thing. You should be rattled, really. So it makes good things. And that's actually, big up yourself, Brian, that sets up something perfectly. I want to ask you, is this now the rivalry of the Premier League, or is it too premature to say that?
Yeah, I think people want, it seems like people online want it to be. I will have to reference you a little bit because the rivalries, literally the foundation of rivalries is what happens actually on the ground. Online, people want it to be because it seems like, I'm not even trying to toot our own horn. People are gonna try to be like, yo, ZAH's biased and do the whole thing. Arsenal's never won and all that. Let's face it, the two top dogs, yeah, we haven't been able to beat them yet, but the two best teams, team-wise, are Arsenal and Man City. And if you say that, the people online will start getting on top of you on the whole Arsenal thing. Would it become big? I don't know. I think it's a moment thing, bro. I think it's a moment thing because we're the two that are good. Let's say, for example, United gets its act together.
I hate to say it, but I think Chelsea in the next 2 years will be back.
Chelsea, Liverpool,
you can't rule out Liverpool, of course. Everyone apart from Spurs can't be ruled out.
If the other clubs get their acts together, they will take over this whole noise that's going on. But there's noise right now. There's a lot of noise right now because these are the top two teams, and the people that hate us. I mean, whether they like it or not, we can look at last season. We beat them last season. Their teams can't beat us. So they
took 4 points off City.
They
won the war again. We won battles and we showed we can compete. City are the benchmark, bro. For me, I do think. I'm getting a bit too technical. I do think there's a bit of a rivalry. I don't want to go as far as to say hatred, but I think there's a bit of a competitive nature and an extra edge. Yeah, like even when you heard the City players speak, they were like, oh, yeah, we knew Arsenal wanted to come here and create drama. We look at Benjamin White and Phil Foden a few years ago. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne pushed Mikel Arteta. We all saw the handbags of the last game. So I think it's that. For me, I can't call it a rivalry yet because we haven't won significant trophies. City have been there, won it and done it several times. But for me, I like that because it's like, City don't want us to come and take their crown or whatever. Yeah. They're looking at us and thinking, who are these newcomers? They've never done it. They shouldn't be talking this nonsense to us. For us, we should be sitting there saying, we're hungry. We want to be in the realm that City are in. For me, competition is everything in life. It makes you better. And I like the fact that there's some pride in the shirts. Numerous times we've seen our team over the years rock up in situations like that. And there'll be one player, if that, on anything. Now we're here. So we just need to keep going.
And people ain't happy about it, man. It's crazy. And that's the thing, is that the people, this is gonna happen. Arsenal fans better be prepared for this. This is gonna happen every single time we play.
Arsenal fans won't. We haven't grasped just leaving it alone. And I'm not saying that's right, and this just doesn't even go for football. How many times will we see some nonsense on social media, whether it's around racism, engagement, something that is evidently based around rage bait and engagement clicks? As a society and Football Mirror Society, we haven't learned to just switch off from it. Instead, that's what brings drama. If me and you say Arsenal, if me and you make a YouTube channel right now and we say Arsenal did well against City, we're not necessarily going to get as much views as if we said Arsenal completely showed City that we're here to take over. It's a rage bait thing. Like, honesty isn't praise. It's all hyper opinions. You've seen it with the overlap, the clowns they get on that show. They do get some good guys. Shout out Clive, who's an Arsenal fan, but they get some clowns. Like, we haven't learned that. So it's like you said, it's here to stay.
That's the old ball, dude. I like
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. But for every one of him in that YouTube space, there's a million twats, which is
yeah.
crazy.
And they're the ones that get to the forefront. That's unfortunate, and paint the whole narrative. But bro, as much as people try gaslight you, and it will continue until we play our next game against Leicester. As much as people will continue try gaslight you, the winners in this situation, I think, it's I hate using that word winners, because I mean we didn't win the game, but going away to, at grand scheme of things, people are gonna be you're gonna be gaslit into following this opinion and all that. Grand scheme of things, going to the Etihad and coming out with a
With
point
their home form, our away
where
form
you
is still intact, but their home form is amazing. As I said, City are the benchmarks. They've been it, done it, wore the t-shirt a million times.
you spent an entire half one man down, and you came out of the Etihad against,
And it's exhausting.
oh, you're going for 5 titles in a row. That's an incredible result. People can try gaslight you any other direction. The Arsenal should have played tiki taka with 10 men on the field, blah blah blah, and all that. 10 men down, 10 men getting a point for an entire half. 10 men, incredible result at the Etihad, bro. It's an incredible result. It's crazy.
It's a weird one for me. It's mixed emotions because, again, if you can't win, don't lose. I'm by no means upset, considering that even if you offered me a point before, I would have been happy with that. I wanted to win at the Etihad purely because I think we need to get into that scope. I know Liverpool haven't been amazing at the Etihad, and they've been the ones fighting City, but I personally think Arsenal need to get to the realm Liverpool and City having that. It doesn't matter if Liverpool beat City at home or away. It doesn't matter if City do it. There's not too much noise made if they win at the Etihad or Anfield. And I think as much as I liked last season, we still didn't do that. And that's the realm I selfishly, as an Arsenal fan, want to get in. So I would have wanted to win. Definitely when we've come back from behind. As you said, the period we kind of grew into the game. I think we started quite poorly. Obviously, for me, watching the game again, I actually feel for a team with Mikel Arteta that's quite compact.
Slow.
I think we started second best. I don't think we won our second draws enough. I think we weren't as compact. I think Pep Guardiola, I think Rodri coming off played a big part because they lacked something with Kovacic coming on. I think the way they used Bernardo Silva and Gundogan as kind of free-flowing, rotating eights, we kind of struggled. Declan Rice was following Rodri, for example. Even if you go and look at the first goal they scored, obviously Salvinho's done well. Haaland's made a great run off the ball, which isn't tracked. But if you go and look at Bernardo Silva, he's drawn our players towards him, and they just made space. So I think there was a lot of that. I do think we needed a bit to adjust in the game and that. But I think once we started to play, obviously we got the first goal, then we got the second. I was starting to believe, what, it's game on. Now, had we have stayed with 11 men, bro, we might have won, or they might have won. We don't know. But up in that period, I felt we did whatever we needed to do. We got back in the game. We're getting in the groove of things. It's approaching half time. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's just get in. Then obviously the Trossard things happen, and it's just completely become, can you shut up shop? Both teams took the lead, but at one point, both teams got a point. So is it a point gained or 2 points dropped? I would say it's 2 points dropped because regardless of City, in May, we're going to be looking at the fine margins. We dropped 2 against Brighton, unfortunately, and also City. And I think our problem hasn't been the top 6 games. Now, I don't think we're going to remain unbeaten against the top 6 again. So far, so good. But as much as Arsenal fans should be motivated and believe we can do this, our problems came, as we said last show, bro, our problems came West Ham at home, the 2 against Fulham, the 2 against Villa, etc., etc. We know once it gets into, I don't know when it will be, but when it gets into that March period, City, they just go on this crazy run. In fact, they still more or less have a perfect start to the season. It's City, really.
They haven't lost one, yeah.
Exactly.
Nah, you're right.
That's where you want to take points off them, because I think City, for us to win the league, we have to do our job, which is another thing. But City have to lose. I don't think draw's good enough. I only want them to win 2 games in the Premier League. That's the 2 against Spurs. So it's a techie one.
You're right. That first 10-15 minutes we did get off slow. The Magalhaes, when Gabriel missed that for the first corner, the corner that he missed, bro, I just, for some reason, I had a feeling in my stomach. I'm like,
I think people are harsh on that one from Gabriel, I
am good, bro. That was an open header. That was a free header. Back post. He should have scored that. I was like, I had a feeling in my stomach. I'm like, Jesus, don't make me regret this. Don't make me regret this chance. And that was crazy. Now, the Haaland goal, I honestly think that we defended pretty poorly right there. We could have.
We were crap for that goal. Let's be real, man. You give City players space off the ball, you're in trouble, bro.
Saliba, I don't know who it was. I think it was Bernardo Silva who was to the left of Haaland that Saliba was kind of worried about, but he wasn't even close enough to really affect the
It's a
play.
great run from Haaland, man, if I'm
If
honest.
he had come across instead of Gabriel going and covering Haaland, if Saliba had come across, I think that goal could have been
Even David, I'm not blaming David Raya. He's our last line of defense, and as I said, from there,
right.
that has come from a dead ball essentially. Even David Raya's positioning weren't the best for that goal. So as a team, we could have done better. But
Getting
that's
beaten on the
where we need to learn. You give City these 1-2 opportunities. There you have it, man. Partey got dragged out as well. You know, Partey
Yeah,
was dragged out by Bernardo Silva.
that
The whole
that was
team was dragged.
more that was more of
Not Shaq.
the Partey was more Calafiori because Calafiori
I think Partey had a great game off topic. I don't think people give him his flowers, man. I think he bossed it.
and Raya too. Raya had a
Big up Raya. Big up everyone.
But on that goal, like, dude, how do you get beaten on the inside? How do you get beaten on the inside? That's the thing. I didn't want to criticize him too much because literally without him in that game, we weren't gonna get a point at all. But getting beaten on the inside right there by Haaland was like, come on, dude.
Do you think we need to do better in the final third, bro? Because I do think I think generally we're not at our free flowing best, even when everybody's fit. I don't think we've done that this season. But considering I think there's many gears to go and we've not done terrible by any stretch of the imagination, I do find it though that game in, game out, we still take nothing away from David Raya, but David Raya is still getting too many plaudits. I'm seeing my goalie too much. Last season, I didn't really see him. By default, he was the lowest rated player because we didn't see him. We're still talking about Saliba and Gabriel. Exactly. So, like, do you think we need to do more in the final third and being on the front foot in general and attacking games?
That's always been Arsenal's problem. That's always been Arsenal's problem since Lord knows when. We could go back to, since actually, you know what? That's always been Arsenal's problem since Thierry Henry left. Because it's the whole, for example, like last season, right? If you look at just the numbers only from a statistical standpoint, we scored the same amount of goals as Man City, but logic would dictate that Arsenal's fine. They don't need no attacking play. They have the most amount of goals. But what was everybody crying out for? Yeah. So that's our problem is we're just not efficient. We're just not efficient, and a game like this is where that clinical efficient striker makes a difference. Where
and chance creation, because really, what did we
didn't really create that
second half? It cool. Like I can't criticize you, but first off, cool. You know, a bit of brilliance from Calafiori, Gabriel. Set pieces account for a lot of our goals.
It was the two corners. It literally was the two corners. That's it.
Which I love, but yeah, like we caught the same way they caught us cold. I think for the first goal, we caught them cold. Maybe the ref helped us. You know, it's great from Martinelli, thunder strike from Calafiori. We obviously set pieces are the new penalties. That's cash money. I'm not really isolated to that game because I know how the context is, but I feel like when it works, but I don't think we're creating enough. I feel chance creation is the numbers game. Like you look at Haaland, he scores a bunch of goals, but he's always up there for big chances missed, which I'm not criticizing Haaland. You buy more tickets, you're more likely to win the raffle, isn't it, really?
Yeah. No, you're right. In this, so using this game as reference, we did not create that many chances at all. However, when we do, and that literally is the situation where we need that efficient striker. Though we didn't get that one chance, if we did, we need it to be a non-negotiable situation where it goes right into the back of the net. And that's what we don't have in the final third. Yeah, we score a lot of goals and all that, but we miss a lot of chances. Fulham results could have been the Fulham result last season could have been different if we were more efficient, kind of deal. So it's looking at the numbers. The numbers will tell you no, but if you analyze it, yeah. We really do need to get better at in the final third, because against those big teams, you'll only get one chance.
Would you make a Trossard? Obviously, the red card is the red card, but he's been, I don't want to say Mikel Arteta don't rate him. He evidently does, but I mean, in terms of being a first team regular, he's only been given a proper run out. Where you look at last season, Martinelli's form was on the floor. Obviously, we haven't got many players available. What do you make of Trossard in the 10? I think it's a bit harsh because I think he was okay against Spurs, and I think for a point he wasn't a level below his City. The players that partnered him against City. But yeah, I think Shaq's. got something that could be a talking point?
In the 10, not sample size not big enough. That's the problem, is that he
Good point.
moves around. You know, he's not a 10. He plays on the left. He pops in at the 10, false 9 kind of deal. Where do I in the 10? Not convinced, honestly. Where do I like Trossard? Off the bench, coming in off the
I was
bench.
gonna say that everybody see that's something people have been saying as well.
Bro, impact guy. That's literally where he's good at, and people will see Martinelli sucking and him coming off the bench, and that will trigger them to be like, all right, let's get Trossard starting. Rightly so, based off merit, yeah, but it's like, if you got a guy that can just come in and change your game, you know, it's those guys are few and far between to come by. So is he a 10? No. Am I convinced by him in the 10? He's played there a few times for Arsenal. I haven't really seen enough of him there. I like him more coming off the bench, Trossard-wise.
What do you make of our defenders, man? Obviously, Benjamin White, Mikel Arteta came out and said he's got an injury. I think Timber did all right. I think Calafiori could have done better.
He's being phased out?
Pardon me?
You think he's being phased out?
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking you. I don't. I think not you necessarily or me necessarily. I think Arsenal, going back to City, you know, obviously players are going to be unhappy not to play. There's always going to be someone out. But you look at City, they've had Ake, they've had a Kanji, they've had Diaz, they've had a bunch of good defenders. And if your form is and attackers, and if your form's out of this world, Pep's going to play you. You look at Foden, Bernardo, all of them kind of guys. Unless it's been a Rodri or Kevin De Bruyne, you've kind of been rotational options and playing according to the game state, right? But every now and again, one of those City attackers or defenders, they're in a real purple patch of form where they can't be dropped. Now, I think Arsenal fans, it's a double-edged sword, because I think we're new to this depth thing. We're not used to having multiple decent options. Now, in midfield and attack, we could do a lot better. Defensively, there's great. We say we want depth, and every player who is or isn't on the pitch, they're over, they're done for, it's done. So it's a difficult one. I don't think we can afford to phase Benjamin White out. I think, obviously, I think with Benjamin White, it's difficult because Calafiori's done so well in his cameos. Timber is like a new signing. Benjamin White, I do think he's been slightly underwhelming, but he's been doing his thing. He doesn't really have standout attributes per se like them two. And when them two have been out of this world, people are going to think, oh, what's going on? But now, Mikel Arteta said, you know, we didn't want to use Benjamin White. He had an injury. Had the game gone how we wanted it to go, and assuming we kept the 2-1 lead, I don't know if Benjamin White would have came off the bench, but I'm happy with it. But like some people are saying, you know what, Timber, Calafiori, that's the first choice fullback pairing. Where are you at with it?
Yeah, no, it's a weird situation. As you pointed out, this is the first time where we can literally, where just in our back line, we can literally swap out people 1 for 1. And
bearing in mind, Tommy wasn't fit either.
Still feel comfortable. Literally you could swap out the backline people and still feel comfortable. Do I feel he's being phased out? Only time will tell. I don't know. I personally don't want to think so. I don't think so. I think he's a very, very good player. As you said, he doesn't have any standout. He's just literally solid.
Got a lot of time for Benjamin.
He's solid. He reminds me like of a Bakary Sagna, just literally a solid.
And he's one of the most nastiest players we have in our team, bro. Since we've been talking about dark horse.
You saw the haaland situation. He came and
he was lurking. He was ready. People let the fake tan fall, and Benjamin White's a shithouser. I love him.
I love him. I absolutely love him. Do I think he's being phased out? Absolutely not. We are in a position now where I think we can swap around people in our back line and get a little 1-for-1 situation going. And yeah, no, I do believe the whole backline thing. And this kind of reminds me of this takes me back to last season. Yeah, last season, that when Gabriel was dropped. The 1 or 2 games, and everybody thought that it might have been over.
Yeah, he's over. It's over with. Yeah. This is a great question. For people that are just listening, since you're my since you're my fellow brother, you being from Zimbabwe and myself from Malawi, who's your favorite African Arsenal player? For me,
of all time. Damn, that's a tough question. Of course, the great, Kanu was the first kind of great one. Current squad. I mean, the guys of African origins, the Nketiahs, Who did I love? I used to love Eboue. I used to love Eboue, man. Eboue a
Could
lot.
throw a Saka in there. I know he plays for
Vieira,
England, but you said of
Saka,
African
yeah,
origin.
Saka, Vieira. I mean, that's a very, very tough one. I would have to.
Let's
So
make it
question.
difficult. The players who have represented African nations, not necessarily heritage, like
Okay,
your
okay.
favorite,
So let's
but
make the
guys
that
have actually
makes it a
played for
bit
their country.
easier. But even that, I would have to go through like eras. I wasn't a big. I liked Aubameyang. I wasn't too big into him. So I guess I'd go a little bit further back. The Ivorian guys. I guess Emmanuel Eboue. I used to love Emmanuel Eboue.
For me, it'll be Lauren, you know. It'll be Kanu, Lauren, and then
Tane
Emmanuel.
Maye.
Yeah, man,
Tane
I got a
Maye,
lot of time for
man.
Lauren, man. People forget. We talk about
Tane
shit
Maye,
houses. People
great
forget
player.
Lauren, steady Eddie, bit of a madman. I had a lot of time for
Great
Lauren,
player.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
and I don't
Eboue.
think attackers are always gonna get love. Like, you're gonna more gravitate towards them. But I think people forget. Big up Colo Toure as well.
Colo, I was a big Colo guy.
I'm trying to think
Actually,
of
you know
some
what?
from recent years.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I'm gonna change my answer. Colo Toure. Colo Toure. Easy. Colo Toure.
See,
Colo Toure when he played when he played for Arsenal. Colo Toure. I love. Ooh, Alex Song. I'd forgotten about Alex Song, but he hurt me when he went to Barca. That's
I'm sorry, don't shoot me. Alex Song was overrated for Arsenal.
one season. That one season, bro. That one
Quality player,
season that
but
he had the one season that he was unstoppable. Him and Coquelin had like one season for Arsenal that you were like, what? We had the best DM on the planet all this time and had no idea about it. But yeah, no, Colo Toure would have to be mine, I guess.
does the City game? Obviously, we didn't win. Now, within the context is, I think City and Arsenal will be unhappy and happy and unhappy. But does that give you more confidence, and we can, simply put, end our Premier League trophy drought this year?
Yeah, yes. I hope. You know what I hope? I hope the players are. I hope Arteta's keeping the players away from like buying into what the media is saying. If Arteta,
I think he will, man, because
yeah.
sorry to cut you, Zara, but then when you look at it right now, whether people like us or hate us, it's very easy to see what Arsenal are doing, the rebuild. Whether you believe in Arteta or not, it's easy to see he's got ideas and the players buy into it. But do you remember when back-to-back apes, they wanted Arteta gone? As we said at the beginning, the media saying they can't see what's going on. Yeah, no, they 8th place finishes. Anyone's allowed to want him go. But at that point, I don't think they obviously they're not immune to it. They can see it, but I don't think they necessarily took it in. So why would you take it in now? If you take in all the negative, you're going to doubt yourself. If you start to believe, if there are some positive narratives around Arsenal, surely you're going to think you've arrived before you've actually done something.
Yeah, no. If he can keep the players away from listening to the BS that the media is talking, man, I think this is as I said. When you put it into context, when you step away and put it into context, man, like this should give the players give the players confidence. I don't know how all of a sudden this narrative came about that the guys that are chasing the people that are going for 5 all of a sudden are the ones that are 5 titles in a row all of a sudden are the ones that are they're the ones that with all the expectations they have all the weight on the shoulder. They're the ones that should be doing that. Nah. If Arteta keeps them away from the media, and we actually focused on what we did in that game, focused on how organized we were in that second half, how tough you made a world-class Man City with world-class playmakers. They
were just their centre halves really and truly making things happen, which is quite poetic.
Yeah.
Stones have scored then, I guess.
Yeah,
which that gives me pride.
Broke you down with literally 5 seconds to go. If you had just
97-13 on the clock,
that ball bounces just 2 yards away, and we're able to kick it up and out. It's over. I mean, there's nothing but positives coming out of that situation for the players, and they should be getting confidence from that. Just don't listen to the idiot YouTubers online that are saying otherwise.
I think it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot worse. I think, I don't know if City have ever had that, because Pep and City have been great, but we have been in that territory where any big game we play now, this makes or breaks your season. We heard it with Spurs. We heard it with City. Obviously, we played Atalanta. Over those 3 games, there's a lot of things we could have done better, but specific to the Prem, we got 4 points out of 6 against the top 6 rivals. We can move.
Do you see any other team giving City real trouble? Who apart
as in fighting for the title?
Just their games against us. So now we're looking at, all right, where can City possibly, where can they possibly lose or drop points?
This is
Is
the
there
weird
anyone
thing.
else that matches up as well?
It sounds cliche, bro, but it's like anything can happen in the Prem. I look at their game against Ipswich. If I remember rightly, they won, but there was
Ipswich
some
scored
moments.
early.
Yeah, Brentford started very well, but it's just City are inevitable. As you saw, City's a team you got to kill, bro. Like, is 2-1 leads are not. I did think after the game immediately, if only we got a third. I think City's a team you've got to put it beyond doubt. To answer your question on a simple thing, it will probably not be one of these teams, but naturally the grounds that you don't want to go to. So you're hoping for Newcastle away. You're hoping at Liverpool they drop points potentially.
Which is who they
These
have
kind of games.
next.
Have they? Please. Newcastle, Eddie Howe, please. But then City are inevitable.
Which is who they have
away,
next.
Perfect timing.
James's.
I think City will be battered and bruised, and they'll want to take it out on Newcastle. But just because of the atmosphere and things, it's them kind of games you're looking at, really. And you're hoping that simply put the fixture calendar list kind of kills City. Like you just have to help City have a couple of off days. But then, bro, how many times do you have an off day when you're managed by Pep Guardiola? Even in their off days, they're grabbing 3 points. Even in their off days where you could argue to a degree against Arsenal, they've still left with something. They're such a good side. I know people can talk about all the charges and all of this. Watford did give them problems. Arsenal, unpopular opinion, before we've actually started taking points off City, we've given them problems, but they've just left with stuff. Like, this is the annoying thing about them.
Yeah. There was that one. What was that one game we lost 2? That was like 2-3 years ago. 2-1. We lost 2-1 when we were dominating that game. Like 2-3 years ago, I believe.
It's jarring, man. If you didn't, go on.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to read this. If you didn't know / believe that there's an Arsenal agenda, you definitely do now. They'll call us crazy. So can we just control the controllables? I know we want to live in a world where the right decisions are given and refs are fair and things like that. And I'm not by any means excusing them. But this is the dynamics we're in now. We're playing a dirty game. Can we control the controllables? We can. Could we have done better for at least one of the 2 goals against City? Could we have potentially started the game better? Could we avoid incidences with kicking the ball away, which I don't want to see us not kick the ball away. But we just have to look at what we can do.
I was in the moment. If you go back and watch the stream that we did, in the moment, I was screaming, "Fine Trossard!"
Naturally,
fine Trossard, 2 weeks. I was like, 2 weeks wages. No, that is you let the. I lost my.
Naturally, emotions are gonna be all about the place, man.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about today? Do you care about the EF? I don't even give a damn.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather win the Prem. I'd rather win the champs. But I want to win, bro. I want to win because.
I want to win every single game we play, but it's like EFL Cup. Like, what are we doing, bro? They just expanded the Champions League. We've just played the Tottenham. We just played City. We've just played Villa away. Now
these are tough games as well, and even that, to go with your point, that's one thing that's annoying me. I would love to see Arsenal dominate proceedings a lot more. I think we could do a lot more on the ball, but people are saying, "Oh, you had the least possession and all of this jazz." Unai Emery's Aston Villa, that's difficult. City away, I don't need to get into that. Spurs, we know it's going to be a game plan thing. You lot have the ball, we're going to go bust out with it. Atalanta, it's going to be an even game. They're possession-based side. People want us to be Pep Guardiola's Barcelona side, which jars me, if I'm honest. To go back to what you said about the EFL Cup, I'm not going to kill the club if they don't win it, but I want to win it. I don't think we've got any God-given right to throw away trophies. If I'm very honest with you, since we won the FA Cup, I haven't liked how we participated in Europe, but also in the other competitions. And I don't know how many cups, EFL, League Cups, whatever, Klopp won, and I'm not sure about Pep. But it feels like when they were starting up what they're doing, they was winning things. And, you know, I know a lot of our players, a couple of them have won an FA Cup here, a couple of them have had great careers elsewhere and won trophies, but collected to Arsenal, we haven't really won anything. So if we could get our hands on a trophy a day at Wembley and we start to whet the appetite and become accustomed to this, I'm all for it. And it goes down in history. But I hear it.
So that being said, right? So tying into what you're saying, how strong would you? Because that's where I'm torn. I feel the exact same way. As you do, where we got to start racking up the trophies. We got to start putting in the actual silverware. You name the trophy, I want it. But it's like, at the same time, who do we play today?
This
Who
is
do we
it.
put in that lineup? Who do we
This
put in
is
that
it. And
lineup?
we're gonna
Keep in mind that
we're
we've just
probably
come
gonna
out of
have
an
to rely on
exhausted
some
City
other players,
game,
bro.
Leicester.
We're gonna have to, like, I'm not being funny, but the club knew the fixture calendar list. You know, by God's grace, one day we're in a scenario where City,
That is
where
true.
we're participating in the Club World Cup, and there's even more games. The club knew, the players
That
knew.
is true.
It's a techie one. And even if we want to rest players, like Bolton is a bogey team for us. Maybe not so much in recent years because they've been relegated. They're still a League One side. They're still, you know, they've got a bit of that underdog tag in that. If they beat us, hella headlines. If they lose, it's business as usual. And you look, I'm not being funny. Look at our squad, bro. It's not like we can rest too many players. There's rumors around Raya not being available. Young Jack Porter could start. Hope
Brother,
Lewis
they're
Skelly
talking about
and
some
Mount
under
start.
18s
Ethan, sorry.
goalkeeper that I don't even.
It's crazy because we signed a goalkeeper that can't play in the competition.
Where's Tommy Sedford?
Apparently Timber and Raya haven't even traveled to the team hotel. So
The Raya knee thing, the Raya knee limp is serious?
Is it? I hope it's not. Maybe it's that.
Wait,
Maybe it's a day off.
Whoa, Timber?
Timber's not. To be fair, I didn't think Timber would play a part. You look at how Calafiori and Timber, they've both had injury concerns, anyways. But that's what I think will be a bit top heavy, man.
Josh Nichols can. Wait,
Pardon?
Josh Nichols can. Wow, Timber is not. Whoa, I didn't even see that. I hadn't seen that. That's crazy.
See what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I think we'll be top heavy. I do think the rhythm will be killed. You'd imagine Jesus, Sterling, potentially Martinelli start. You hope Ethan starts. It'll be interesting to see what we do with Lewis Skelly, because he can play in midfield as well as at fullback. Does he go over to the right hand side? You're looking at Kivior. Benjamin White, I'd prefer for him to get the night off, but the Gabriels, the Salibas, the Benjamin Whites, the Calafiores, they might need to play at least an hour just to get us through this kind of thing. You've got no Zinni or Tomiyasu, which I think Zinni's perfect for these games.
What's going on with him? What's going on with when did he?
Mikel Arteta said he's out for a few weeks in his press conference. Not quite sure what's happened to Zinni.
When did he even get injured? At training?
I don't know. Maybe, probably like Mikel Moreno. I don't know. But to be fair, I think they said he came back from the international break with a knock. So the international break's been a bit of a hard one on Arsenal. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do, like, really and truly. And obviously, if you even on that, like, if you play the young Jack Porter in goal, which big him up, the fans will get behind him. There's going to be an element of nerves. He's 16. So do you put the two centre halves, the two big boy centre halves in front of him just to protect him, coach him through the game, gold him through the game? I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, nah. Neto is cup tied. Listen, I'm looking at this game. I'm looking at Sterling. I am looking at Raheem Sterling. I need to see something from you, my brother. That's why I'm looking at this instance.
He's scoring today. Him and Ethan are bagging today. You heard it here first, folks. They're scoring today.
Sterling is the one I need him to get going, because you know what, bro? I think he has a big part to play in this squad.
He's gonna have to be. We ain't got many numbers. We need every player. That's why I love to see Lewis Skelly doing his thing with Haaland. Everyone has to stand up to be counted, bro. Every one of these players.
Sterling anywhere near this club, but now that he's here, man, he has a very massive role to play, because we are thin and we need to go places. Saliba has to start.
Where are you at with the squad depth as well? Because obviously injuries can hurt anybody. You know, we have been dealt a harsh hand, but am I wrong for saying we've kind of, even though it's got better, we've kind of been in this scenario numerous times? Do we need to learn? Do we need to get more squad depth? Do we need
We've only gotten better. We've only gotten better in one area. Squad depth wise, we've only literally addressed one area of the field. Otherwise, other parts of the field, it's been the same. So it's has it improved? Yeah, defensively, that's it. Midfield, and attackers. One or two go down, we're in a crisis. The only area of the field we are somewhat prepared, because we are in a crisis. We are literally in a crisis right now.
Our defensive ranks are being tested to the fullest extent already.
Because people, that's what I'm saying. We're literally in a defensive crisis right now, but people don't realize that, because we're prepared in that thing. We have Zinchenko out, we have Tomiyasu out, we have Tierney out. That's three defenders.
Calafiori, Benjamin White, and Timber all have concerns or need to be wrapped in cotton wool as well.
Yeah, but we see, you still got Kivior, you still got Saliba, you still got Gabriel. So that literally is the only area of the field that we are prepared. The Neto thing, that was naive. I don't know why. You knew you're going to be playing in cup games. I don't know why you would get a keeper that was cup tied. So I don't get it. The midfield, we're still in trouble, because I mean, two two guys out, and we were scrambling, and attack is the same
Bro,
thing.
how is Partey fit? Like, by God's grace, it continues. But if you told me we would be in this dynamic and Partey would be the one that is fit, I'd have shout out to him because I think he's been good. But it just shows you how crazy football is, man. It's crazy sport.
It's insane, and it's just one of those. It's like, as bad as it sounds, I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm literally waiting for it.
I don't think you're alone. It's just like with Tomiyasu. Like, you expect it to happen. You hope by God's grace they have health. But
it's like, Marino, hurry up. I'm hearing good things about him. He's back kind of with the group now, right?
If that's the case, I hope so. We need you.
He was in the gym with the group. I don't know if he was outside. If he did.
His is a weird one though, because isn't he like he hurt his bone or something? I guess you have to wait on that to kind of mend.
Yeah.
I mean, Arteta sounded a bit more upbeat on Odegaard. Still said he's out for a minute, but said we might be given a surprise. But I guess you got to wait for the swelling.
We should be able to, because what's he saying? He said international break, right?
Yeah.
He said take an international break. If it's international break, we should, surely we should be able to somewhat navigate that without him. It's going to be tough because that's Bolton today, Leicester at home, PSG at home. That's going to be tough. The Southampton at home, and that's international break. So we got like what, 3-4 games that we got to navigate without Odegaard.
And even Liverpool at home. Oof, the games are coming thick and fast.
That's right after is the Liverpool one.
After Shakhtar Donetsk, so you got 2 games in 5 days. Bearing in mind, it's even for someone like Timber, it's been a big ask these last 7 days. Like, I'm not sure where we'd be at now. My maths isn't the best, but going into that Spurs game to the point now, we faced the prospect of 7 games in 21 days. So it's a madness.
This is a guy that hasn't played for more than a year. This is a guy that hasn't played for more than a year, and we have demanded so much out of him. By the way, I am so excited to see him today. He better play.
Big him up, man. Josh, I want to see all the young boys, because people cry about, obviously, Mikel Arteta hasn't given that many minutes to young players, but he did bring on Ethan in the North London derby. Lewis Skelly forget his football. He did play against City and he was getting into it with Haaland and picking up yellow cards and things of that ilk. Josh Nichols and Heaven, we've seen them in pre-season. Porter could potentially start. You want to see these young players get opportunities. Obviously, I don't think Mikel Arteta is ever going to be like Arsene Wenger, but in my 29 years, the League Cup, it was just Arsene Wenger just put out the young players. Even some young players you didn't even know played for Arsenal. Probably the security guard at the Emirates didn't know. So it'd be nice to see that being a thing, man. It'd be nice to, in an ideal world, obviously Bolton want to ruin it. Go, for me, a couple of the young boys score. The others who are in defense, it's an encouraging performance. There's no injuries. We're able to take off the key players that have to play by default. And then we focus on Leicester, which isn't going to be easy. For me, I don't want to even talk about Bournemouth away, but these next 3 games, you need to win them. You need to beat Leicester. You need to beat Southampton. Obviously against PSG, mathematically, you could still go through. I'm not a fan of either 1 point from 2 games or 2 points from 2 games. I need to see us grab 3 points. PSG is easier said than done. So it's a techie period, man. And it's only going to get worse.
We have to be in that top 8 for Champions League, bro. We have to be in that top 8 for Champions League. So we better start. We drew at Atlanta. We better start winning games. We have to win that. We have to win that PSG game. There's no negotiations about that, because if we don't, now we're playing with fire. We're playing with fire. You don't want to be right off the bat playing against the Real Madrids or the Man Cities and all that, because you know they're going to be up there. So we gotta take care of our business. But I feel good. I feel good, Deluded. I feel. I mean, I would have been feeling excellent if Oliver had just blown that fucking whistle 13 seconds earlier. But in the grand scheme of things, man, if you start putting things into perspective and all, I feel good.
I feel all right, man. I still feel the same way. I feel, don't get twisted. I'm bullish about City. I'm keen, whether we win, lose, or draw against them. I'm keen to see them at the Emirates. I like how, on the football pitch, I love that how we've become accustomed to seeing us play. I like the mentality. I like that we've got different ways of playing. I think there's reasons to be optimistic. I think there's reasons for me to believe that the squad depth could be an issue. I still think we're not playing at our fluid best. I still think we have this ability to shoot ourselves in the foot. And I just don't want to get excited excited against City because if I'm harsh, the top 6 games last season, we was down for that. As I said earlier, it's the games in the smaller teams and whatnot, respectfully to those teams, where we kind of effed up. My last question for you, kind of on that, yeah. Now, for me personally, I don't get twisted. I think the way we're playing, we can beat anyone at the Emirates. We can give a decent game away. But in the Premier League, I'm a lot more comfortable in Arsenal away from home. At the Emirates, for me, there's too much drama. And then I think you reverse that for me in the Champions League. Like, I think I'm very nervous when we go away in the Champs. And I'm a lot more bullish in the Champions League at home. So where are you at with that?
You know, I'd never actually thought of it that way. I am so just in that, just on that general idea. I mean, our away form. If I am walking into people's grounds with no fear in the Premier League whatsoever. Our away form is incredible. But I'd never actually thought of the whole when we're home, there's drama. But the more I think of it, you are absolutely right.
I mean, there was drama in the last game, but still, generally, yeah.
Champions League, is it? I feel like it's got to do with, you would know better because you're more on the ground. Does the atmosphere vary that much between Champions League games?
I think it greatly does, bro.
It's a completely different. We have a completely different weekend crowd to as opposed to
I think it is, man, because everywhere you go in Europe away from home,
no, but at home, at home. So away, I can understand. Away, yeah, the away fans are completely different. But so I'm comparing the home champ.
Oh, so no, at the Emirates for the Champions League, I think it's a lot better. I'll be honest. I think the atmosphere is improved, but I think the Champions League, there's just something in the air, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Special.
I think that's why, you know what, we might even surprise PSG if we lose. Fair enough, I get clipped up. I'm actually, I don't want to say confident because I'm not saying we're going to wipe the floor with them, but I'm confident that we might pull off a surprise. I think the Champions League's better atmosphere. Personally, I think away from home, I don't think it's quite the atmosphere, even though I do think in and around Europe, in comparison to England, the atmosphere is crazy. I just think it's the way more game teams set up kind of against us. You look at like Declan Rice's comments against Atalanta, he's like, in the Premier League, you don't get centre-backs that come next to us and follow us all the way around. So I think it's more of a that. I think we're more comfortable in the Premier League. We're more believing we can bully this league. It's a bit like City. City, as much as they bullied the Premier League, it took them a while to eclipse that and do it in the Champs, which is weird because you look at someone like Liverpool, who they didn't really win league titles like that in my lifetime, but Champions Leagues, they've been in a lot of finals. They've done a lot of things in that regard.
So what I will say to answer your question, because I'd never actually really thought of it, when we're playing in the Champions League, that is where I have a major preference, where I want to be playing home every single game. Every single game I want to be playing.
Ideally, yeah.
The Premier League, our away form is so great. The only time I insist on, like, all right, we got to be at home is against probably like City and United, the teams that mean a lot, the Spurs and all that. But yeah, our away form it's crazy. We've only lost like 1 or 2 games right this year or something crazy.
Well, I'm sure away from home we're unbeaten in 2024 in the league, which is crazy. Like, I hope it continues, but like we're very close to the end of the year. Like I don't want to look at Spurs, but then I look at City's home record. I look at our away record. I remember Spurs, I think it was under Pochettino, they didn't lose a game at home. Now, obviously, that's very different, but I want us to either become accustomed to being bullies away from home or have a record like that at home, because I do think these things play a part. And I think the players have got pride in their individual performances. Like, I think attackers don't want to really necessarily concede a goal. I think our defenders, obviously, they're not paid to score goals, but they want our team to score goals. So I'm here for it.
You see how they celebrate them clean sheets and all that, man. It's I love it.
They're vital, man. They just like scoring goals. I don't really want Big Gabby to start today, as he deserves some rest, but it will definitely help Jack Porter with his experience in the side. It will.
Kivio needs minutes. Kivio.
You'd imagine. Do you know what? There's every chance we play 2 left-sided centre halves in Kivio and Gabriel.
Kivio and Calafiori.
You could do that. I reckon even Calafiori.
I would give both Saliba and Gabriel. Okay, let me see. Who would I start? So
I don't really want 2 young centre halves in front of a young keeper. I think it's not that you're setting them up to fail, because for them it's a great learning experience, but I think it's very naive. And when I think of Bolton, the League One side, I think it's very street smart. They know how to pick up on these things. So I don't know, man. Mikel Arteta's got a plan in it, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, I would start Calafiori, Kivio, right back. I'll go Nichols, left back. Do we have someone? We might have to start Timbo or someone over there. Kenny, this is the drum. Sorry to jump on
No,
this.
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
This is the drum. So the question is, Kenny just asked this big Gabby world class. This is the drum that I've been beating since. If you watch any of my TikTok or my Instagram things, this is the drum that I've
Make sure you're following that, folks.
Last season. This guy, the problem about football is if you have a sexy last name, right, that goes a mile. That goes 50 billion miles further than not having a last name. That will mask a lot of what you do if a lot of what you do needs masking. Gabriel, unfortunately, does not have that. So he plays alongside a guy that I'm not saying he's bad. Saliba is we're comparing 1 and 2. We're comparing the elites of defending, but Saliba has the sexier name. So because of that, it will always be Saliba.
And he looks the more part, man. Like Saliba can do the rough stuff, but he also looks very gracious around it. I think Gabriel has graciousness in his game, but he's more rash. He's the bruiser. He's like, yeah, that's what I think.
You ask me personally, you take away the last names off the back of the jerseys of our players, and you ask me who our best player last season was for the entire 38 games, I will tell you Gabriel Magalhaes.
I do think Gabriel never got enough flowers in comparison to Saliba. Likewise, as you'd imagine, there's been times Saliba's been bailed out by Gabriel and vice versa. I don't know for world class. I think if one's more likely to be world class, for me, it's Saliba, because he's now starting to show it for France. He's getting to that level where you, regardless of a bit like Van Dijk within reason, like it doesn't matter what system, what team you're in, you're doing your thing. I need to see Gabriel do that for Brazil. I don't think either's world class yet. I think Saliba's banging on the door. We'll be here all day for another stream. I just think that world class thing is thrown around too much. But if you're looking around the modern day and you're saying who's top 5, I think both of them have a shout. And if that's your dynamics for someone being a world-class player, I can't say anything, and I'm definitely not going to complain if it's Arsenal players being put into them shouts. I'm definitely not complaining. 100%.
I'm a big Gabby guy. I forgot about Lewis Kelly. I mean, he played in central midfield his entire youth career. So
Arteta's been playing him left back. So does he go either left or right back? Young Josh Nichols plays, and you got 2 experienced centre halves, and then obviously you got probably Jorginho, Ethan. Reckon you could get away with Declan Rice in a game like this, and then you got Sterling, Jesus, Martinelli on the right, or Sterling on the right, Nelly on the left. You're gonna have to use the 5 subs. Ideally, again, big up Bolton because they won't make it difficult for us. But in an ideal world, early doors, 3, 4, 5 goals.
We need to be minimum 2-0. We need to be minimum 2-0 by halftime.
Put the ball in the back of the net, wheel off the more experienced players, give some debuts, and we keep it moving.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we need today, man. That's what today should be all about.
Facts, my guy, man. ZAH, it's always a pleasure being here, man. Hopefully the good spirits continue when we keep winning. But yeah, before I let you go, give us a score prediction. I'm gonna say 3-1 Arsenal. I think Bolton might score.
I'm going 3. It's not Raya playing. It's the 16-year-old.
I'd love for the young lad if he does start.
You know what? I'm gonna keep my chest. 3-0. I'm going 3-0. We're gonna do a clean sheet with the young kid on his debut.
Let's go with that, man. ZAH, let people know they can find you, man. All info's in the description, folks.
At the Midget Zimbo, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Deluded, man. As always, thank you.
Thank you, man. It's lovely to do content with people.
Brother. As I said before, man, I've been keeping tabs on the stuff that
appreciate that
for a while, and it's an honor to be it's an honor to be here with you and talk.
Likewise with you and the people in the comments, man. Like I'm just a facilitator, man.
I hope the people enjoyed it, man.
So like ZAH said there, man, we hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sure there's some talking points and sound bites me and him have said, and we've not really gone under the microscope. So let us know your thoughts. 6:45, sorry, people. I'm back again to do a watch along with Arsenal and Bolton. Again, if you've just scrolled in, yeah, come on, boys. If you've just scrolled in, go back to the beginning and watch the content. But for now, people, I'm going to let ZAH get out of here. I'm going to do the same. See you all later. Peace.
Take it easy, fellas.
Come on.